Holy moly, guys. Yet again, another crazy day in the stock market today. So we got a lot to break down this video. We obviously have to break down the stock market, charts I'm looking at, and of course, stocks I'm looking at, plus earnings. We have a couple of earnings to break down. But before we do, make sure to get your free money from Moomoo. You get one free share of NEO guaranteed, which runs out in a couple of days here at the end of March. And on top of that, you also get up to 5 other stocks, each of which could be valued up to $3,500. Just use that link down below or go to stocksurfs.com/Moomoo, deposit at least $100, and boom, you got your free money. And with that being said, let's dive into the video. So like I said, guys, we had yet again another fantastic day in the market. SPY ended up closing up 1.2%. The Russell ended up going up 2.7%. NASDAQ up 1.7%. And we had the Dow go up about 1%. The VIX went down 3.7. It closed under 19, which is great. Gold went down 1%, and silver went down about 1.1%. So it was a great day overall. Metals were down, volatility was down, pretty much every stock known to man. Obviously not every stock, but a lot of stocks out there did very well. And what we're noticing here on SPY is we clearly broke back over 458 like I mentioned in my earlier video. And I think when I made that video, we were trading at about 448. And what you guys can see is we ended up breaking back over 460. In fact, we closed above $461 a share, which is right by, I believe, the intraday. Actually, no, the intraday high was hit earlier in the day. Well, I guess actually we hit it right before the close at about 3:30. We hit a new intraday high at about 462. So overall, what I'm noticing is we're breaking above 458, which I've mentioned many times. We also took out the highs from earlier in the day, and overall, we're still trading at a multi-week high. You guys can clearly see that here on the 20-day chart. And if we go back to the 4-hour, it looks like this wants to slowly fill the gap now to about 470, 475, which was that resistance. When was that? The middle of January. And no, like I mentioned in my previous video, guys, I don't think we're going to shoot straight up to 475, 470 this week. We'll probably see a pullback, some volatility in the meantime, but overall, by the looks of it, that is where SPY looks like it wants to go eventually. And when it comes to Triple Q, let's pop this one up. Triple Q broke out of 367. We filled the gap all the way to about 372 earlier in the day. Let me show you guys. Actually, no, that was later in the day, as we did have kind of a blow off top rally from about 1:20 p.m. towards the end of the market, pretty much all the way until close. So the last 3 hours for Triple Q were great. Very, very strong to the upside. You guys can see again, we hit 368, filled that first gap. Then we filled up the gap pretty much to 372. And now in the future, whether it's next week, later this week, I don't know, whenever it is, maybe if we break 372, the next gap to fill is right around 378 to about $379. And if that were to break, this might be shooting up to 390. So overall, guys, yeah, the markets are on fire. We're seeing resistance after resistance break, but let me warn you, we're up a lot over the past 2 weeks. In fact, Triple Q is up about 17%. Try and realize that. It is up 17% in just 10 days, 12 days, which is nuts. And SPY is up, I mentioned this earlier, let me say it again for you guys. SPY is up about 12% in that same time period. So understand that within this huge breakout, we might see little pullbacks, and who knows, maybe this is just a rally within the overall bear market. I'm not saying it is for sure, but it could be. You never know. You never know, guys. Anything is possible in the stock market, and predicting the future, well, it's dang near impossible, so we gotta be careful. So let's break down some earnings now. Number one is Micron, ticker symbol MU, and let me tell you, they absolutely crushed earnings, and the guidance is very freaking impressive. Let's talk about it. For the previous quarter, they just reported on, they did EPS of $2.14 versus $1.97 estimated, so that obviously beat, and they beat revenue. They did $7.79 billion versus $7.52 billion estimated, so double beat there. And when it comes to their guidance, it is very impressive. They see Q3 adjusted EPS of $2.36 to $2.56 versus the $2.21 estimate. And for revenue, they're looking at $8.5 to $8.9 billion versus the $8.06 billion estimated. So they not only beat EPS, they not only beat revenue, but they guided up for both adjusted EPS and revenue for the next quarter, which, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you want to see. You want to see guidance beat the expectations. You obviously want to see a double double beat for the previous quarter, but in my opinion, guidance is way more important. And on this report, Micron is now up another almost $4 in the aftermarket, on top of going up $2 in the day today. It went up almost 3% on the day. So take a look. It closed at $82. Now we're trading at almost $85.50 after the bell. In other words, we are up an additional almost 4%. So what I'm noticing on the 4-hour chart here is, and by the way, if you guys are finding value, make sure to smash that like button. What I'm noticing on the 4-hour chart is an inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Now with this move, a breakout after hours after the good earnings report, we are now breaking out of the 180 moving average, which has been resistance for a good month at this point. So that's a good sign. And we're starting to break out of $85 slowly but surely, which was a sticking point in January, and overall $85.86 was resistance in November, December as well. So in my opinion, Micron's starting to look fantastic. It's not out of the woods yet, but if we start cracking above, let's say 86, 87, it might just be out of the woods at that point. Another one I'm watching right now, guys, that just reported earnings, and let me tell you, these earnings were great as well. Lululemon, LULU is the ticker symbol. They just did EPS of $3.37 versus $3.28 estimated. Revenue came in at $2.1 billion versus $2.13 estimated. So they did miss revenue. They beat EPS, but the reason why the stock is ripping here, it's actually up $30 after market hours. The reason why it's doing this is because of guidance. Like I said with Micron, guidance is very important, and for earnings in general, I mean, it's not just all about the previous quarter. Remember, stocks are forward-looking vehicles. They want to get information from the future in a way, or numbers, or, a range of numbers of what the numbers could be from the future, and then the stock price usually shifts. It reacts, and it kind of prices in the future, if you will. I mean, that's kind of how the stock market works, right? Tesla's a great example of that. Tesla, at this point, in my opinion, is pricing in a lot of the future, and Tesla's kind of a side tangent. We're not going to dive into that rabbit hole. We're going to focus back on Lululemon. Again, they did not beat revenue. They did beat EPS, but that guidance is great. The guidance is great, and that's why the stock's up about $30, or in other words, it is up roughly 8% after market hours. So they see Q1 revenue of 1.52 to about 1.55 billion versus the 1.41 billion estimated. So that's a big beat for the next the next quarter sales. They also see EPS of $1.38 to $1.43 versus $1.29 estimated. So the next quarter revenue, EPS, the estimates are considerably above what Wall Street or the analysts here are expecting. They also see full year 22, which the guys, this is very important and very I don't want to say mind-blowing, but it's a very nice beat. They see full year 22 revenue of get this, guys, $7.49 to $7.61 billion versus $6.3 estimated. So their full year 22 rev guidance is amazing, and they see EPS of $9.15 to $9.35 versus $7.69 estimated. So they're crushing it on all cylinders when it comes down to the next quarter guidance and for the full year of 22, even though their previous quarter was not the best. So again, stocks are forward-looking vehicles. If guidance is great and the last quarter wasn't that great, it kind of overlooks the last quarter and looks forward to the upbeat guidance. So Lulu's crushing it. Again, it is up about 7-8%. And what are you doing, Ibiza? I think she's my dog, by the way. Her name's Ibiza, guys. She's having a little nightmare right now. You guys have dogs out there. A lot of you guys probably have dogs, and when they have dreams, sometimes they start to twitch. They make these weird noises. Their eyes start to flicker, or at least my dog does that. I don't know. Maybe she's different. I don't know. But look, overall, Lululemon now is breaking out of both moving averages. It was actually doing that before the earnings report, and now that we actually shot up $20-$30 after hours, or at least that's what we're up right now, like we just saw, we are now trading at a multi-month high. The last time Lulu was above 355 was, no joke, in the early days of 2022, and I mean literally the first couple of days of trading of this year. And the last time we were above 355 before that was obviously in late 2021. So Lulu's trading at a multi-month high. Let's see if this breakout could continue, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it cooled off a bit before continuing to break, but overall the momentum is clearly to the upside. Chewy's another one that I'm looking at. CHWY is the ticker symbol. This stock went up about 4.5% today, closed at $51. And here after market hours, well, it's not looking that great. It's down to $44, down $7 a share in the aftermarket. So what happened? Well, they missed revenue. They did revenue of $2.39 billion versus $2.42 billion estimated, and they lost $63.6 million in the quarter, which honestly, if they're bringing in $2.4 billion top line and they're losing $63 million, that's not that much, to be honest. And on the live news tab here, it says Chewy's Q4 active customers were at 20.66 million versus the 20.8 million estimated. Net sales per active customer was at $430 versus $428 estimated, so that's a beat there. But overall active customers, they missed the estimates, so I don't know what to say. I mean, we're not getting a lot of data here on the live news tab quite yet. I'm not seeing anything on guidance. It just looks like they're maybe not growing revenue as much. They missed revenue. They're still losing money. Obviously, they're not profitable. And now that they're breaking down here, they're down $7 after hours, like I said. We're actually slowly moving back under the moving averages, which you never want to see. Chewy was gaining some steam. I mean, it went up 4.5% on the day. It started breaking moving averages. It started to break the downtrend, but any stock is just one earnings report away from changing trend. And this was trying to change trend. Now they reported earnings, not the best earnings, and it's getting knocked back down into the downtrend. So Chewy's not looking great. I'd be careful with it. You know, sure, as a long-term investment, maybe it's getting attractive at $30, $35, but as a swing trade, a shorter-term play, I personally would not touch it. Sundial's another one. SNDL, they just reported, or actually, I didn't see if they reported yet. This is the one that I didn't get yet. Yeah, they didn't report yet, but overall, Sundial is set to report. This stock went down 7% today, closed at 72 cents, and that's after a lot of the MJ stocks, including Sundial, you know, they went ballistic last week. If you guys remember, Sundial hit 93 cents, and now it's down to about, again, 72 cents. So it lost 20 cents value, which for a 70, 80, 90 cent stock, that's a big drop. We're talking about a 25% drop in just the past couple of days. But even with this drop, the technicals still look good. And you guys know I'm not a penny stock guy. I've never claimed to be a penny stock guru. You know, I don't pump penny stocks. You guys know that, but I gotta admit, this chart looks pretty decent. You know, it broke out above the moving averages. We hit multi-month highs. Momentum's clearly to the upside. We got the golden cross, and we just got a bit overbought. Now we're pulling back, and if we get good numbers, guidance, who knows? Maybe this thing does take off yet again, but unfortunately, we do not have the numbers right now, so I do apologize about that, guys. But hey, we'll cover it in an upcoming video. We'll see. Another one that I'm looking at right now, which I personally think is it's underrated, is Nordstrom, ticker symbol JWN. And did I not say that if we took out 2750, this was likely to rip, to break out? And look what happened. Today it went up 4%. The ascending triangle on the 4-hour chart is playing out. If I zoom in, you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. This is a pattern I called out probably, a couple of days ago, maybe even a week ago, and it's finally starting to play out. Again, we took out 2750, $28. We went up 4% on the day. And if this momentum continues, as again, we are breaking out, we're seeing the ascending triangle play out, JWN could end up going to $30, $31. I mean, that's the next main resistance at this point in time, anywhere from $30 to $31. So that means we could get another maybe 6, 7, 8% upside. That's if we continue breaking out, which, guys, you guys know this, the stock market, nothing is 100% guaranteed, so be careful. Another one that's starting to make a move right now is Datadog, ticker symbol DDOG. This one up over 4% today, closed at about $155 a share, went up $6 per share just today. And what I'm noticing is with today's breakout, we're now at a multi-week high. We're breaking out of the moving averages. I think we did that last week on Friday. And today we obviously continued the breakout. And on top of that, Datadog is now, with today's green day, breaking out of the downwards channel slowly but surely. I mean, it's not fully out of the woods yet, but it is starting to break out at around $150, $155. So if this starts gaining momentum into the 160s, I don't know how high it's going to go. Again, nothing is guaranteed. Nobody knows the future, but this could continue running. And for that reason, we're watching it because it could gain momentum quick. We've seen it happen time and time again with this stock. And the last one I want to talk about here is Clover Health Investments, ticker symbol CLOV. And like I said, guys, I don't really talk about smaller stocks a lot on the channel. Usually 98% of the time, time. The stocks I talk about are over 20 bucks a share for the most part. But hey, since I mentioned Sundial, and that is literally a penny stock, even though anything under, I'd say, what, 5 bucks is a penny stock? Literally, the other one, Sundial, is a penny stock. Clover is another one, I guess, if you use the under $5 rule for penny stocks, or some people think under $10 is a penny stock, but I usually just say under 5 bucks. And again, Clover fits that because it is a $3.76 stock. So today, Clover went up over 4%, and what I'm noticing is a slow reversal. I mean, this thing has been grinding, and I actually just looked at it today for fun. I was like, let me look at Clover. I haven't looked at this stock in months, and I pulled up the chart, and I was like, dang it, I wish I saw this about 2 weeks ago, because look, earlier in March, we started to break out of the moving averages. That's when we started to see a reversal. We broke 220. We started moving up to the mid $2 rather. I was going to say 200s, not 200s, the mid $2 range, $2.50, right? And that's where it really started gaining steam. We hit 3 bucks. We ended up pulling down, and it's this time period that I'm talking about, right? The uptrend started to occur. We got the golden cross. The breakout was looking fantastic, right? And you know, now it's pulling back a bit, or at least it did last week. We hit 385, 390. We pulled down to 333, about a 13% correction, and now we're seeing buyers above that 50 moving average on this 4-hour chart. Buyers stepped in on Friday, or not Friday, that was yesterday, Monday. They stepped in at 340, and today we went up 15 cents, 4%. Now we're at 376. So by the looks of it, Clover might be going $4 plus. We might take the recent high out, which was 390 roughly, and from there, you know these penny stocks, guys, they catch fire. It might run 10-15%. It might go to 450. So watch out for CLOV. And again, I'm not somebody that is all in penny stocks. You guys know this. There's really no need for me to say it, but it's more for my new viewers out there. If you're watching this for the first time, I'm not a penny stock trader, investor, none of that. But I mean, I guess I would trade a penny stock once in a blue moon like this, but I'm not somebody that is trading penny stocks every day. That's not my thing. I'm a large cap guy. You guys know that. So with that being said, I guess that's it. If you all found value in the video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe, drop me a comment, check out my Patreon. If you want to join it in a couple of days, first day of April. And on top of that, don't forget to get your free money from Moomoo. You get 1 free share of NEO, which runs out in a couple of days, so make sure to do that. And on top of that, you get up to 5 other stocks, each of which could be valued up to $3,500. Just use my link down below, deposit at least $100, and boom, you get your free money. Or go to StockSurfFast.com/Moomoo. Again, deposit $100, and you get your free money. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.